Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com. And today I want to answer some objections an individual had about a video I made titled The Folly of Being a Solopreneur. Solo Entrepreneurs Choose Mediocrity Over Success. Now, the title sets the groundwork for what I'm discussing, which is entrepreneurs choosing mediocrity over success. And that by choosing to go the solo route and not have employees and not have your business grow, you're choosing mediocrity. Of course, this individual didn't actually make any points about what I actually said. He just started saying, well, this must mean essentially that you're saying, and then he laid out a bunch of straw man arguments that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. And then he finally, when I called him out on that, he mentioned a quote from the video, and I'm putting the video in the description so you can go watch it and see for yourself, where I say, being a solopreneur is settling for being a loser. But he leaves out the entire quote, because that sounds like I'm just saying anyone's a solopreneur is a loser. Well, first thing, the idea that is from the beginning is people choosing this. I'm not talking about an individual who's just working by themselves and hasn't built up to that point. As a matter of fact, in the video, which is only 4 minutes long, I explain that obviously if you haven't built up and you don't need any employees, you don't go get employees for no reason, and you don't grow and expand when there is no real growth or expansion. So some people may work for their entire lives by themselves. They may never grow their business. That's fine. This is a different issue. This is solopreneur. This is somebody choosing they're going to be an entrepreneur, but they're going to be an entrepreneur of one. They don't want to bring anyone else on. They don't want to have anyone else around them. They don't want other people's interjections in their lives. They want to just be by themselves in this little world of their own. It's a very antisocial mentality. Now, I don't think that's what that was originally intended. I think the original idea was this thought of freedom, and you wouldn't have as much responsibility because you wouldn't have to have employees. But what it got morphed into, which is what today most people are talking about when they talk about this idea of being a solopreneur or a solo entrepreneur, or one-man show basically, is a very selfish mentality that wants to cut other people out of their business success. But that quote this person quoted partially, only after they made up a bunch of stuff I didn't even say, and then I called them out on that, was this: being a solopreneur is settling for being a loser in business, because all business is dealing with other people. So I set up the point that when you're choosing this, you're settling for being only by yourself, this one-man show, and that's what you're settling for, that is being a loser in business, because all business is dealing with other people, meaning you're going to have to bring other people on. If your business is doing well and growing, it's of necessity that you're going to have to bring some employees on and have some other responsibilities in your life besides yourself. Even if you don't bring employees on, you're going to have dealings with suppliers or vendors or virtual assistants or whatever it may be. You cannot be an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a one-man show, and have any kind of success. You have to choose mediocrity and being a loser in business, because you have to limit your success. Now listen, if you can't grow and you've been trying and you're just where you are and you're just not growing very much, okay, that's fine. But this is a different issue. This is the issue of people choosing mediocrity, choosing not to grow, because they're so selfish and self-absorbed. They don't want to bring anyone else on. They just want to be by themselves, just a solopreneur, just me, myself, and I. That's what I actually put as the image in that video. It says me, myself, and I, the solopreneur, entrepreneur folly. Because this is a folly. It's greedy, it's mediocrity, and it's failure. That does not mean if you're a new startup and it's just you and you don't have any employees, and you may not have any employees for years, that you're doing anything wrong. I'm not talking about you. And of course, in the video that I'm referring to, I explain that. But sometimes people, especially when they are the solopreneur, they've chosen that life of self-absorption and cutting other people out of their successes. They get angry when it's challenged, because people don't like their worldview of selfishness and mediocrity and greed challenged. But I'm telling you, when you add other people onto your business at an appropriate time, obviously if you're not doing well enough and you haven't grown to that point and you haven't done all you can, and what I mean by all you can is If you're working 40 hours a week in your business, you haven't done all you can yet. When you're doing 80 and 100 hours a week, then that might be when you start considering taking some other people on. But if you're just working a 40-hour work week in your business, you're saying, well, maybe I need an employee, you're going the other direction in error because you haven't put your all into that business yet. And that may be a mistake to take on employees at that point. But when you're doing all you can, and now your limitation in your business is you don't have any more time in the day, otherwise you're not going to be able to sleep at all, that's when you need to consider taking other people on. And you should, because you want to grow. You don't want to be this selfish swamp that just takes in stuff and never gives out. You need to take on more people, and they in turn will help you grow your business. And you're helping them as well, because now they're having employment, you're blessing them, they're growing as a person, your business is growing, you're growing, and also you're taking some of that labor off your hands and putting it to other people's hands who might even be better at some of that stuff. So you might be working 80 hours a week, but this other person coming on, even working 20 hours, might actually free up 40 hours of your week because they might be better at whatever these things, these tasks you're giving them to do than you are. And that's a good thing. That's where other people can shine and grow, and you can compensate them well, and they will do well, and they also help you do better. And everybody is winning. Everybody is going up in that scenario. The solopreneur is a stagnation. It's like a puddle of water that's just sitting there. It's not shrinking down, but it's not going higher. It's just there, decaying and becoming useless. And so I cannot stress enough how being a solopreneur is a bad choice. Now, and I'm going to keep stressing this because this individual who couldn't watch a 4-minute video and understand it probably represents a lot of people who will see that video, hear a couple words here and there, and get mad and offended and hurt, and then say, well, but he's attacking my me, myself, and I mentality. That's not fair. It's me. It's about me. Me. Listen, you have to break out of that. Doing good is part of being on earth. Business is about other people. Business is not just about money. Money is great when you have more of it coming in because you're doing more for other people. But just money by itself, there's no people around to enjoy it with and to bless with it. What good would that be? And this is too many people's mentality. They go into business, I'm going to be a solopreneur. I don't want to have any employees. I don't want to have any responsibilities. I just want to be me, take in all the money for myself and have no one else having anything in my life. That's not business. Business is about other people. You're not selling to robots, like I mentioned in the video. You're not selling to Martians. You're selling to other human beings. You're having to deal with other human beings. Whether it's a service or a product, you're dealing with other human beings that are wanting the product or the service. They're buying it. This is how it all works. This is how prosperity and blessings and all these things work, is by us having interactions with other people and blessing them and them finding our product or our service good enough to warrant them giving of their energy, of their money, so that they can have it. And in turn, everybody's being blessed, including when you bring employees on and you grow your business. Because too many people, I've talked to people over the years. A lot of the people who are talking about being a solopreneur, this is their mentality. Now, I don't think the original idea of being a solopreneur was about this, but this is what it is today, because I hear people all the time talking about, well, I just don't want to have employees. I just want to do it myself. I only need $100,000 a year. Listen to that mentality. I only need $100,000 a year. Think if Jeff Bezos thought that. Well, I only need $100,000 a year, only $1 million a year, whatever. How many tens of thousands of people would be out of work today because Amazon.com would not have grown anywhere? Or name any big business that came from very small, humble beginnings. That person settled for being a solopreneur. Tens of thousands of people would have been out of a job, or a job would never have been created, not necessarily out of a job, and the world would be worse off because of it. There would be less prosperity, less blessing. Not because there's any limitation in the universe, but because people limited themselves and shut down the growth of their business because they wanted to just be about them. And so I have to stress this to you today. Don't get in this mentality of only concerned with yourself, only thinking about yourself. Now, there's a very real point that people might say, well, I'm not good with management. You hire somebody for that then. Well, I don't know how to hire. get a temporary service. They know people, they screen them, and if the person's not working out, you can just have them bring another person on. There are all kinds of options you can do. The most obvious, and the way is time tested throughout history, is people bring friends and family on. Now, I know a lot of people say it's a bad idea, and it can be, but if you have good friends and a good family, you can bring them on into your business. You know you can trust them. You know them. You know their work ethic. You know how they do things. You know how good they are. You know their faults. You know their flaws. You know their strengths. And you can use that to build your business and help them as well. Somebody that actually cares about you and wants you to grow in your business as well. So you can always do that. There are all kinds of ways. You don't have to be the best at management. Listen, if you just treat people well and you legitimately care about them and you hold them to a high standard, most of your leadership and management skills are contained in that mentality. If you want to hold them to a high standard, but you're a kind person who cares about them legitimately, that will make your focus and your management and your leadership go very well. People make it too hard on themselves. They try to make it so complex and difficult. And I get it, because there's a lot of people selling courses and books on leadership and management and all these things. But the golden rule really works. And holding people to a high standard, not in a harsh, demeaning, crushing way, but because you believe in them and you want them to do the best they possibly can, that goes a long way. And you're appreciative and you show gratitude toward them, that goes a long way as well. But like I said, even if you don't feel like you can handle all that, maybe it's just not for you, there are people you can hire to do that. Now, my point is not to get everybody to go hire a bunch of employees and build a big, huge business. Not everybody's going to be able to do that, and that's fine. The whole point of the original video and the point of this video is that you don't settle for that. You don't just settle for being by yourself, doing everything yourself, and cutting everybody else out of the process and out of the blessings that you are experiencing and could experience even more by letting other people in and being a person of generosity and growth. That growth mentality will help a lot of people. Being self-absorbed and only thinking about yourself will stagnate your growth and will crush it in many cases. And in many cases, it will dwindle off where you are. Whatever level you've gotten to will go even lower. It's a bad move. Choose what's best for growth. When you have choices in life, this is a good way of looking at things. Is this choice going to grow my life, my character, my personality, my business, whatever it may be? Or is it going to diminish? Is it going to shrink? Is it going to cause me to go backwards, to backslide, to be less? Look at your options that way and choose growth each time. You will have an excellent, blessed, and glorious life that will be filled with blessings for other people as well. Because when you're not just a solopreneur and just focused only on yourself, and you're able to expand and bring other people in and be a blessing to other people, your life will be so much more enriched, and other people's lives will be so much more enriched. I pray it's been a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.